Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Retained on the GrowthAmped podcast. We are joined today by Mark Herre, CEO and co-founder of SEO Game, one of the longest running performance-based white label SEO providers built on a simple promise: no rank, no pay. For nearly 30 years, Mark's helped digital agencies deliver real rankings to their clients. And with AEO taking over SEO, Mark helps websites find visibility and get recommended. Please welcome Mark Herre. Hey, Mark, thank you for joining us.
Hey, it's so good to be here on this podcast.
It's a pleasure. So, you've got quite a bit of background, but if I was to encapsulate it, right, we'd love for you to walk us through your path into the business from your early days as a Chamber of Commerce, a networker fixing fax machines and running a dial-up ISP in the mid-90s to launching SEO Game in 1996, which is almost closing in on 30 years as a performance-based white label SEO provider. What's that journey been like?
Well, it started out with everyone else, smoke and mirrors. People wanted to get listed in the search engines. It became SEO, but with the S on the end of the E on search engine, that silent E. And then Google came around in around 2000, a little bit before, but we've had 2 decades of just one real place, a platform that everybody wants. Now with recent, just everybody wants to be found and recommended in AI searches. There's an explosion of how do I get my clients happy? How do I get that type of traffic? How do I even prove to my clients that I'm getting their website recommended for their keywords? And it's similar in the way that SEO. So it went from SEO with multiple search engines optimization to search engine optimization to now search engines again, or search models. Google has 2 models and it still is, you still have to be number 1 ranking and you still have the maps to contend with. And then you have ChatGPT, Gemini, and you have others. And so everybody's trying to figure this out right now. And for a year, SEO Games had a finger on the pulse. And we have the best reporting tools for our digital marketing agencies.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. So as the CEO and co-founder, right, how does your role today compare to those early figure it out dial-up days? And where do you spend most of your time now?
Well, we had a little pre-conversation about this, didn't we? I spend most of my time in discovery calls. Clients are my digital marketing agencies, SEO companies are the ones that are booking calendar appointments on my calendar, 3 to 4 a day. It's exhausting. Digital marketing agencies are trying to get a Hail Mary pass for their own business and their own marketing. I spend a lot of time bringing them down and trying to help them understand onboarding new prospects and clients. So I do spend a lot of time. A lot of time I spend once I onboard a client is just in the consulting. They're just always a new thing here and a new thing there. And as a one-man show, it can get tiring, but I'm solving that problem even myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that leads me to believe that no 2 days are similar, right? So let's make that a week, right? What does a typical week look like for you currently, balancing your service delivery, commitments to your agency partners versus staying active in networking communities like the Connective, the H7, and BC networks, and just keeping SEO Game current as AI reshapes search?
Well, I like to think about it as my time because you experienced that with me. One of my largest clients just expected to meet with the exact time that we're talking and doing our podcast. So just finding more time in the day, there's just not enough time. So with my networking and my 2 favorite topics to talk about is networking and connecting people. And I've been pretty good since I first started my company. I started SEO Game after my first company, but I was in a chamber of commerce, 2 chambers of commerce. I was evolving, and I love to hear people's evolution of networking experiences. But with time being so short, there's only so many people that I really want to talk to anymore. And I want to have my calendar open for discovery calls of when the digital marketing agency is looking at like a dumpster fire that they can't handle themselves. And that's why they need a white label SEO partner to put out the fire, be steady and reliable for them, and then consult them and walk them through the process so their clients are happy again. Digital marketing agencies are looking for one thing nowadays, and nothing's really changed in 30 years. The one thing a digital marketing agency needs is a retainer, a month-to-month client. And when they're losing their clients, they're desperate. And when basically they've got the momentum going for them, they just got 1 client down, 2, 5, maybe 10 clients down, They're like on fire. They want to like really go into the niches. And I keep saying the niches are the riches. We could definitely get more onboarded clients. And I love helping the digital agency wherever they're at.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, especially how expensive it can be to run an SEO agency. If we were to talk about what the industry looks like and your agency's position, right? You built quite a reputation on the no rank, no pay model, which is your 30 days results first test drive type of model. With that said, right, what major shifts are you seeing right now in how digital agencies think about SEO as AI reshapes both search behavior and just how marketing work itself gets delivered?
Let me just explain the average digital marketing agency, and I'm going to use round numbers, but you might get pushback from one agency saying I've got it 100% wrong. Well, that's fine with that. What I just use is round numbers. So let's say a plumber, roofer, or HVAC, or a dentist, chiropractor, lawyer, or medical spa. One of these doors and handle kind of companies, a business owner with a website, either in the bricks and mortar, doors and handles, I like to call it, or it's a home service, approaches a digital marketing agency and says, hey, I have a budget. It's $1,000 a month, and I need to be number one ranking for my keywords. And a lot of the keywords that the marketing agency owner is going to agree with the business owner is that these are very high volume keywords that a lot of people search for. Not to mention, these are also keywords that have big ticket in mind. For instance, the dental implant dentist is going to love to be number one to get a $20,000 butt in the chair. And they can only do that if they get number one ranking for the word dental implant. Houston, let's add a city. So if it's going to be $1,000 a month for that SEO campaign, they're going to need a partner like a white label that actually does that no rank, no pay fulfillment that gets phone calls and web traffic and attribution so that the dentist is getting the phone calls. And if the phone calls keep coming and they keep getting $20,000 butts in the chair, then the marketing agency gets a reward with a lifetime, a recurring.
Residual.
Yes. And they love that. If they can get $1,000 every month and they don't even have to do the work and they're making 70% of the margins by paying their vendor, wow, that's about $300, $400 a month. That's nothing when they're getting 1,000 every month, right? 70%, 67% margins. That's how digital marketing agencies stay strong today. They need recurring income and that kind of relationship with business owners.
This is a great example that you use, right? Let's just talk about getting $20,000 clients, right? When you look at that kind of industry, right, the dental implant industry, do you do any kind of attribution with regards to what they're spending with you versus how many customers they're getting to get them like a cost of acquisition for customer or a cost per lead? If there's like 10 people called in and 4 people booked, right? Do you do any kind of funnel tracking for them or just to kind of show them how their SEO dollars are making money and what their ROI is? Once you've landed, right, that client, and say you want to do more for them to get them higher volumes, more revenue, help them even potentially think about, hey, we're so full here, our chairs are 90% utilized. We probably need another location, right? So as you become their partner in their RevOps, right, what's next for you?
So that question was really great. It has my favorite word, attribution. A lot of digital marketing agencies don't really work with attribution and they don't really know how to quantify it through organic campaigns. They can do it a lot better with paid campaigns. What I generally like to say to a digital marketing agency is let's use round numbers. Let's say you get a dentist on $1,000 retainer month to month. And the reason why you did that is because you earned the trust of the dentist. The dentist is ecstatic. They can't believe that they're number one ranking. They have this social proof that they're the best dentist. They're the dentist that provides dental implants. They're the dentist that's number one for the word dental implant Houston. Oh my goodness. They're the one that's getting the $1,000, $2,000 calls and sometimes up to $20,000 dental implant procedures. And what's happening now with that dentist is they're getting it every week. We call that a $20,000 butt in the chair. Now, when they look at the $1,000 spend that they're spending with their marketing agency, first of all, they're completely happy. The marketing agency has a client, if they don't blow it, for life. And then they can keep charging that client $1,000 and then they can see their vendor who's doing all the work with their 10 deliverables that's helping them. They're making 70% margins. That's incredible. Again, all they have to do is keep the client happy. So what does a marketing agency have to do? They have to rebuild them a website. Well, That's going to be a lot better than $1,000 a month. That's going to be a huge project. Social media campaign ongoing, lead generation ongoing, AI ongoing. There's going to be so many more things that the dentist is going to trust at their marketing agency, because that glue that held them together is that attribution, attributing a number one ranking like Dental Implant Houston. That's phone calls and web traffic that equal, I'm happy. Why would I go anywhere else? Whatever you say, Mr. Marketing Agency. You think we need to do this? We need to go down this direction. How much? Not a problem, right?
That's great, because businesses succeed, or service businesses succeed, when they build trust, right? And they build trust by not sounding transactional. So when you bring more than, I don't want to say instant gratification, but when you bring more than the first layer of that ROI into the picture, and you help them realize that there's a value in this partnership beyond, month 6, year 5, year 10, that's when it makes it a lot more easier for them to say, oh yeah, Mark, if this is what you think is going to be best for us, sure, just tell me where to sign. Right. When we've talked in the past, you've described yourself as the keystone that connects the agency's client relationship to real attribution, phone calls, and web traffic, right? Has AI changed how that bridge gets built, or just mostly accelerated it?
It's accelerated because they want to know where their customers are coming from. They generally, bricks and mortar and home services generally continually ask their clients, how did you find us? They're getting better at asking those questions. And the owners of these businesses with websites who are obsessed about being number one ranking, or finding the right formula to be visible and getting the right conversion and the right traffic to their website and the right phone calls that they're getting to get more leads. In the end of the day, all they really do care about is customers. And if the marketing agency, the thing is about marketing agencies, they sometimes feel like their checklist is more important than just getting more customers. Like they're pushing something. And again, they have to put themselves in the shoes of their clients. And that is, hey, remember us. It's us that's getting you those customers, those dental implant, clients. And remember us. And then it's also the job of the dentists themselves and the clients to realize, if I have this really great relationship with the marketing agency, if they're really legit, they should be offering me more services, because the last time I checked, plumbers, roofers, HVACs, dentists, lawyers, chiropractors, med spas, they've never said these words ever in 30 years. Stop sending me more customers that are going to keep buying from me. They've never said.
Absolutely. A fair point. And that kind of takes me into, what is an ideal customer? Or I guess, who's the ideal agency partner for SEO Game today? And how has that profile shifted as more growth and marketing agencies bolt on capabilities like automation, LinkedIn outreach, or voice AI alongside SEO?
I like that. I fit really well with digital marketing agencies that are by themselves, have their own company, and they're running a one-man shop. As well as they might have a partner, as well as they might have 10 people, as well as they might have 50 salespeople selling everything to their clients. Let's just say they have a product that they do really well. Let's say it's reputation management, and their clients are leaving. Let's say it's all HVACs, and their clients are leaving to go with another company that does reputation management and website development and SEO and lead generation and all that. If you're just a reputation management client and you're wondering where your HVAC clients are going, well, hey, why don't you have a white label partner that does their job? The job that you always need can actually look at that HVAC website, look at that any website, and just say, yeah, we can fix that. I think marketing agencies stopped using that word when they don't have a confident partner, a partner that they can rely on, like SEO Game. SEO Game is giving digital marketing agencies. Do you see that logo behind me? It's a queen. The queen is the most powerful player. If you lose your queen, you sometimes fold. You don't want to play anymore on the game of chess. SEO Game's all about giving you your queen back. And the queen is the most powerful player. If you don't have a powerful player, you're just going to be a regular reputation management client, and you're going to wonder why your HVAC clients keep leaving.
Sure. That makes sense. That takes us into our next section, which is talking about how to navigate challenges and future growth. So if you were to think about the next 12 to 18 months, right, both for your white label model and for the broader world of digital agencies that you serve, right? What's one challenge that, if solved, would make a significant difference?
Onboarding. time, just having the ability to help my agencies do the same. I'm kind of solving it, as we discussed in the pre-show, of having a delegate worker that's going to help me with onboarding and putting Chessie to life. And that's something that's totally new and revolutionary. I'm excited. And just after our podcast today, I get to meet Chessie for the very first time and put a letter on the letter C and put her to life and have her come in my Zoom meetings and help me. I know my digital marketing agencies are going to see that novelty and it's going to see it as more of a productive tool. And they're going to want their own Chessie on their team to help their clients onboard, because they don't want to keep hiring out and finding people to onboard. They want to sometimes just have me do it. And if I do it, you're going to have your own onboarding program.
Absolutely. Hopefully, Chessie's going to get a crown to wear.
And a face. Me mentioned a face.
Yes, and
Technology
a face.
isn't there yet. In Zoom rooms, if anyone has experienced Bordy in a Zoom room, it's kind of like Bordy, but you just see the letter B and Bordy kind of interacts in the introduction of why he made those introductions. A lot of people love Bordy because of that. It's a new phase. It's a novelty. Wow, have you seen Bordy in your Zoom meetings? And everyone's talking about it. But I'm trying to take it up to the next level. Have your own logo in there, who's been there with you ever since day one. And for SEO Game, it's Chessie.
Yeah, awesome. So a lot of your growth has come through a relationship-first marketing, right? Which is help others win. And plus, recently presenting your Unlock LinkedIn system to a room of agency owners. What's working is exceptionally well right now, and how new partners find you, and where do you see untapped potential?
I amaze lead generators all the time. They want to do my email. They want to do my LinkedIn lead gen. They want to help me at Alignable, or they just want to be my virtual assistant and introduce me and have me pay a retainer. I've tried all of those. Outreaching on my own, having a person in that Zoom room because of that effort is exhausting. Not to mention hostile. I feel as though I'm being abused. All I wanted to do is tell people I have a value of 30-day trials, no rank, no pay. And all I'm getting is, the only reason I wanted to talk to you is, how dare you book a calendar appointment with me? I just wanted to lecture you and browbeat you and tell you what a rotten scoundrel you are for texting me and using, Go High Level or, Lead Connector, or all those tools. I'm like, really? You just wanted a meeting so you could lecture me on how I found your phone number? So that's hostile. That doesn't work. And it amazed me that LinkedIn lead generators, same thing. LinkedIn gets 99% of all their leads by eating their own service, their own porridge.
Yeah.
I've got a do-it-yourself program at $9.99 or $79, or if you want the done for you system, it's $500 a month, blah, 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 blah. And none of it ever works for me, because every time I'm meeting with people like that, it's hostile. There's no reason that person really wanted to be with me. Now, the best way has always been, for 30 years, I started out as a networker, and until I can figure out it, everyone's just giving me introductions. So I'm figuring out how to do it better. I'm probably one of those guys that spends way too much money on networking and introductions.
Yeah.
That's my evolution. It still works, even though I sometimes regret spending so much money and being in this networking group and being in this networking group and being in this networking group, and they're all charging me $175 here, $100 a month there, $150 there, and that all adds up.
Absolutely. If you could wave a magic wand and instantly solve one growth or efficiency problem, either inside SEO Game or the agencies that, or the agencies you white label for, let's wave that. And what would it be?
Yeah, this is a SEO Game magic wand.
Yeah.
And it goes back to Chessie. I deliver these in an envelope. They're paper boba straw with the logo on it. How cheap is that? But
Nice.
It comes with a little letter, and I tell the digital marketing agency, now you have your SEO Game magic wand. It's that reference I mentioned about Chessie, the queen. Getting a queen in your court, you folded. You decided to draw. It was a draw. But if you get your queen back, you have SEO Game as your partner again. And it's going to be the most valuable player on your team. Wave this magic wand. It's going to sit on your bedside. And if you wave it, you can wish for any keyword you want on the first page of a Google search. What would that do to that client that you're going to lose anyway? If you can't prove in a 30 days period, we can get you back. And then the client's happy. They're getting attribution, and it all stems back to, you know what? I think I can do this. I think I could hold on to this digital marketing agency. It was my dream to start it.
Yeah.
And now I have the right partner. I don't have to be a real estate agent.
So if you're waiving this for yourself, what's the problem you want to solve overnight if you could do it?
Overnight, having the ability to share my why. Overnight, if I had a bigger audience like your podcast, which is a start,
Yeah.
a bigger
Yeah.
audience is continue to go viral with, a delegate worker or, the magic wand concept. If I had a magic wand, it would be that my why is that I exist so that you don't have to find another marketing agency white label partner ever again. You don't have to worry about what's around the corner. The grass is green over there. It's yours. You got the best partner that's going to navigate these times, help with your clients, get and secure these clients in long-term relationship. And so my magic wand is if I could just get my message out there more and share why.
It's awesome. Hey, let's talk about operational efficiency and the long-term vision, right? So, of course, running a white label operation across hundreds of agency relationships means a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. Are there any repetitive tasks, agency onboarding, keyword audits, monthly reporting cadences, partner outreach and follow-up, these kind of activities that, they're time consuming, but they don't directly tie to new ranking or revenue? What would those be today for you?
Wow, you just mentioned them all. I'd like to add a few, because SEO Game now is always cutting edge. I feel like that's the service that I'm true with, always being the best partner that a marketing agency's ever had. So with that being said, the bottleneck happens to be all those consulting items that have nothing to do with when the plumber or the dentist say, get me number one rankings. If I had the energy and focus on just making sure those keywords are ranking all the time so that then the dentist is getting the deliverables, the 10 deliverables in form of like training the marketing agency how to deliver those stories. I can send them in an email once a week. Here's your deliverables. Here's your Tuesday email for this one dentist, for this one HVAC, this plumber, the roofer. But do I have enough time to these are livelihoods. You mentioned it early in your question. These marketing agencies put food on their table with themselves and their partners and their families and their dogs and their cats and other critters that they might have. Not to mention, they have these livelihoods. They also have these businesses like the dentist. What's the livelihood of a dental clinic that's getting $20,000 butts in the chair? They have all their staff, they're growing, they're adding a new location, they have to keep sustaining that. And you can't pull the rug out from under them and say, well, we just removed your keyword dental implant. Too bad. That was nice. You just stopped paying us. It's like that. But I'm just bringing a little bit about that because the livelihoods are, it's a weight of stewardship. It's something that, could keep someone up at night. It has for me. The fact of what happens in an algorithm change, what happens when a bad programmer or maybe my team, did something that was kind of like, whoa, we shouldn't have done that, and now it affects the rankings for a day or two. We can fix it. But what happened here? Why did the website owner decide to remove all the work we did? And now that website's bad again,
Yeah. So you have all of these, right? Which do you think are the easiest to automate that today is very time consuming?
That's a tough one because I could spend a lot of time on that and we don't have that much time.
Pick like two. Yeah, let's pick two.
Automating the onboarding process. I have a Chessie onboarding now.
Yep.
Allowing digital marketing agencies a hard no when it comes to figuring out a way to, I call them the clipboard people. There's a lot of clipboard people that run around chasing the owner of the business who runs a marketing agency, and they just force things on me to do stuff. Oh, can you create this spreadsheet? Could you help us with our FAQ page? It has nothing to do with their client or page, but then since they just figure I'm on retainer with all the other clients are paying me money, that I can just go ahead and, spend
web development.
Yeah, consulting ideas. So that's kind of like what I'm seeing happening more and more of how I could find that digital marketing agency a little bit better help when they're asking their SEO guy to solve their pay-per-click problem, or something.
Yeah. So it's like you're getting under the hood to tune the performance of the engine, but they're saying, hey, can you replace the air filter while you're at it? Or can you
remove the satellite off my roof? And, you've got pliers and a ladder. You can do that while you're cleaning my HVAC ducts. It's like,
exactly.
That's client creep. But,
Scope, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from the IT world, we used to call it scope creep, where your scope is this much, but they want you to do this thing, that thing, and the other.
and with AI, they want always the newest thing and they're chasing around. There's a lot. Anyway, I don't know if I answered that question very well, but it's my best answer.
I think so. Yeah. Awesome. What metrics matter most to you in improving attribution, the calls and the web traffic SEO game is known for? And where do you feel that you and your agency partners still lack a clear visibility?
Always, always, always storytelling. Month by month, even though I have 7 deliverables that report on the 3 reporting tools,
Yeah.
that bring in number 1 rankings, that bring in more grid map tracking, and bring in AI recommendations with AD keywords. While that's a beautiful story to just show number 1 rankings in those 3 reporting tools, the 7 deliverables sometimes get distracting. Like what they want to do is to see exactly those numbers that a good CMO fractional can really put together and use more Google Analytics and goals and setting up Tag Manager and setting up, a lot of the other things. I think there's a lot more that could be done. Telling the story and deliverables that really are the story of what a number 1 ranking attributes and how it follows in CallRail, a tracking tool that does more phone, anything. It's like sometimes agencies don't push a lot of these projects because they're just so, hey, we got you number 1 ranking, but there's so much more that will tell the story to secure a lifetime retaining client. Anyway, that's about it.
So what I'm gathering from it is, you don't just think of yourself as the SEO people, right? But you have a vested interest in the storytelling component of the business and overall paint a better picture of what the business is core capabilities are, what kind of people they want to attract, how they want to get their message out, avenues to position. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's really fair. And I think we're going to need another podcast to go. If I invited a CMO fractional into my meeting like you, it sounds like everything that you talk about is exactly the type of people that really make a good owner of a business with a website. Even a digital marketing agency needs to hire a fractional CMO that really gets deep into these attribution that goes beyond just the scope of, I got you a number 1 ranking. Let me prove it to you in these 3 reporting tools. And my deliverables are this, but it doesn't encompass that. And, more important, storytelling, because it's usually the first 3 months of getting a client on board to turn them into a lifetime client. If every effort and energy is put into those first 3 months for the client, look at the return on investment for the digital marketing agency to get a lifetime client that's easygoing, happy-go-lucky, paying month by month, that doesn't need all of that afterwards. Just
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they can focus on the other attributions of the other projects that are going to be just as intense or maybe more money for. Obviously, I always like to tell digital marketing agencies, you're going to make more money selling your other services with a happy customer than you ever will with SEO. But you need an SEO campaign that's kind of like the hub or the glue that keeps that client happy.
Yeah, absolutely. As SEO Game heads into its 30th year, right? What's the long-term vision? Or what strategic partnerships or resources, whether it's automation, content, or AI-driven production, do you believe will be essential to get there?
I believe it's going to be fractional CMOs that really understand the full potential of a partnership with a white label SEO company. It's going to be other strategic partners like fractional CMOs. Maybe it's a COO or CFO. I believe all the XYOs and SOs and everybody else who's a fractional should understand a marketing campaign that makes a client happy by just getting organic traffic. That's easy enough to just say, because everyone believes in their CFO. If you have a trusted relationship with your COO or CEO, if they're fractional, CMOs, CSOs, if they're fractional, they need to know how to say these exact words. In 30 years, it's not going to change from now either. Let me fix it. Fix it meaning let me just work on your website because I have a partner that can fix that. That's going to be able to pay me. It's really, if they have a happy client, because if they have good $20,000 butts in the chair, they're going to have money to pay for a CFO and a CMO and a CSO and all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's the classic adage, right? You've got to spend money to make money. And so once they've started the meter rolling with the SEO and the value is starting to come in, many agencies or many business owners would tend to get complacent and say, hey, you know what, this is good. Mark, great job. Let's just keep it as is. And they're happy until, their next ARR milestone is met. And then what? Right. So like you said, right.
And then it's the business owner's job to come up with a new service and product. I mean, it's not just dental implant. It's going to be Invisalign braces. It's going to be something related new that, it's laser, that they got the best things in sliced bread to introduce everybody with.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great thought. And we could talk about that a long time. We need another podcast to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this has been great. Just getting to unpack a lot of the things that you guys are doing over at SEO Game and the exciting stuff that's coming up, which I don't want to ruin the surprise. So we'll talk about that another time when the queen gets to the coronation, right?
She gets a voice. She's onboarding right now as we speak. And I'm so excited. I'd love to have her back. And maybe we'll get her into Riverside and have that. But yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah. Well, thanks, Mark, for making the time this afternoon. And it's been great just getting to know a little bit behind the scenes of how you guys have made it to 30 years with all the things that you've added consistently and creatively, I must say, over the years. And all the best for the next 30.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to share.
Absolutely. Thank you.